Good. We look forward to your presentation. We've seen the file. You know, it looks like a pretty heavy, solid file. So, you know.
Yeah, I'll try. Well, I'll be. You know, I don't have to go through everything in detail. There's some extra slides. I have to be prepared in case people throw curveball questions and have material around. Be prepared is the motto, right? So
that's good.
I try not to take too long. Excellent. All right, great. So yeah, my name is Paul Best. I'm CEO of ImageXpert. We've been around since 1989, so quite a while now. And we have over 600 systems in labs and production facilities around the world being used for largely for inkjet and dispensing R&D and development. So it's been quite an exciting journey working with all these various different companies using inkjet for a wide variety of applications. And some of the most exciting new applications and probably the fastest growing area is print electronics. So I'm loving working with so many different new applications for print electronics. For people who may be experts in print electronics and chemistry and not experts in inkjet necessarily, these are some of the major considerations to look at with an inkjet application. And this is largely true regardless of the application, but depending on the application, there are specific things to look at that are more of a special concern or that need to be looked at with more care. But each of these factors is absolutely critical to getting a high performance application. And depending on the application, some of these might be fixed and out of your control, and some might be in your control. But for the attributes of the application that are in your control, it's really critical to think through early on, think through the space of possible design choices you can make, and think through your approach to optimize those choices rather than just go with kind of a default, if that makes sense. So there's a lot that could be discussed about any one of these topics, but wanted to give just a kind of an overview. Here's looking at it as a process. This is the process for optimization that we've found works very well. And as with most challenging engineering projects, breaking it down into pieces is the right approach and solving each piece one at a time. And this is not a one-way street. You go out and back and back and forth, but fundamentally you need to first make sure your material is going to be jettable, and you make your fundamental choices about your initial print head that you're going to try testing with, your dispenser, your materials, etc. Make sure that those match and you're going to actually be able to dispense the material. In-flight performance, drop-in-flight performance. Process optimization means sort of going beyond basic jettability or dispensing to look for performance in a realistic scenario, realistic frequencies, realistic cycle time, or realistic performance over time, frequencies, those kinds of things, various different conditions that you might have to operate in. And then to print manufacture a part and actually measure the quality of that part. And then that's more of a sort of a technology proof of concept level, and then moving from that to an actual prototype that might be a real functional prototype or be much more realistic to the final product. And then going to pilot production and monitoring in situ performance. And breaking these things down into each individual piece is really, at least in our experience, is the name of the game as far as making the problem tractable and achieving quantifiable results. So what we do in the market is we make systems for engineers to do this development, and then also do the prototyping and pilot production. So we're building the systems. And as you might imagine, because we're making systems for a wide variety of situations and applications, they're really modular. So you can switch out pieces and do whatever you need to do for your particular application. This particular system I'm showing here is called a print station. We have on the left-hand side what's dropwatcher, for those who some may be familiar with that and some not. And the right-hand side, we have the printing station. It's using the same ink supply, the same driver electronics, the same everything for the entire process, which is really important. So you're not trying to go between one test rig and another test rig and a prototype system, and potentially changing parameters, changing conditions, changing inks slightly, or driver settings or ink supplies and that kind of thing. So you can go back and forth from